doing, and they don't focus on the paycheck. They focus on perfecting the scripts and dialogues. They focus on perfecting their schedule. They focus on sitting in front of sellers more often, and then all the activities that are going to put them in front of sellers more often. So your scripts and dialogues will make a very big difference no matter what industry you're in to help you close more. And I just want to share this with you. One of my neighbors, he doesn't live there anymore, used to be Derek Jeter. And most people used to say, oh my God, he's the most famous ball player ever. But he didn't strike a ball every time he tried to hit the ball. Most people lose more times than they win. When you read the stats of people like Michael Jordan, he does not, for every 10 balls he tries to hit, he literally makes contact with the ball 3 times. 7 times he loses. So you're going to lose a lot more, but the whole thing is you want to have more people in front of you. So and then what will happen is now you get better at what you're doing. Now your ratio changes from, you talk to 10 sellers, 3 might want to work with you. It's going to go up. You'll talk to 10 sellers and then 5 will want to work with you. But the point is you don't want to talk to 5 sellers and mess up because your scripts weren't good. You want to make sure you keep practicing your scripts. If you look at people like Mike Vick, another ex-neighbor, when you look at these type of people, they've had success because they practice and they go and they keep, working at what it is they do. You have to do the same as a real estate investor or a real estate agent. Start with the script of the seller's lead, or a lead sheet. That is number one, because you're looking at sellers and you're looking to see which leads are really motivated, which leads you got to put on your follow-up pile, and which leads are just so cold you need to bury them. If a person says to you, listen, don't call me anymore, I'm not interested in selling my house right now, I usually say something like, great, I understand, keep the letter that you got, keep the postcard that you got, or keep my business card. I'm going to make a note on the back for you. If anything changes, you have my contact information. What most newbies do is they sit and they try to force the person to work with them. And what ends up happening is there's a person in that same vicinity that needs to work with you, that needs a person that can help them. They're a motivated seller, but nobody has talked to them. So your whole thing is you're going fishing. You're going fishing and you're going to throw this conversation out there to everybody you can think of. Who do you know that has a real estate issue? If I were going to do my 30-second commercial for somebody as an investor and not as a real estate coach, if you notice, I already gave you my 1-minute commercial as a real estate coach and mentor. But if I were looking for a motivated seller, I would say, hi, my name is Wendy Lovejoy. I really help people with real estate issues, properties that are giving them headaches at night. Do you know anybody that has a real estate problem? Maybe somebody that's been relocated, somebody that might be facing a foreclosure, somebody has tenants that they don't know how to work with anymore. They may live in another state and now the property they have in whatever state you're in. If I'm in Atlanta, I would say they have an issue with the property in Atlanta. I am an expert at helping those people. Do you know anybody? And then they might say, oh, I don't know anybody right now. Okay, no problem. Well, tell me what you do, because I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis. And, I'd love to share what you do. And I really believe that if I help you out, you'll help me out as well. So tell me what you do. And then they'll tell you. So now you're building your center of influence. That is another good place to start when you get your scripts and dialogues together. So I hope you got something out of today's training. Our goal is to just throw these nuggets at you so we can keep you going in your own real estate investing career. I tell people all the time, It is not about just, how quickly can I get a deal closed. It's about really perfecting the system, the processes, the programs, the strategies of real estate investing. Then you can have success. Go and implement this stuff. Download that seller script on the Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page. Download it, make copies of it, put the information in as you speak to sellers, read it verbatim, have it in front of you, so when you call somebody, you can read it word for word, and I promise you, you'll have more success. So again, this is Wendy Lovejoy of the YellowLetterMentoring.com. If I could be of more help to you, go hang out on our website for a minute, see if there's any program you like. If you're not really ready to take a deeper dive, then I encourage you to go to the Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page and look at some of the things that we've put out there. Like there's some scripts that you need to say to yourself, which we call success affirmations. Yellow Letter Mentoring success affirmations. If you speak to yourself and you give yourself dialogue that tells you you're successful, you will take different actions and you will have more success. And then, as I said, download the lead sheet, the seller's lead sheet, and you might be able to practice it. If you could practice your scripts 30 minutes every single day, when you get in front of a seller or a buyer or another wholesaler, you will have more success. I have an agent that I'm coaching right now, and one of the things we discussed is that she would be cold calling for an hour every single day. That's literally turning off the phone to everybody else and calling people. And she's calling expireds to see, do you know anybody, or like, what is the reason your property didn't sell? Or with an expired, the first thing you want to let them know is your home showed up as an expired on the MLS or the FMLS, and I'm just checking to see, like, if you were aware that your property's expired. Of course they're aware, but you're starting a conversation. So you always want to look like a professional. You always want to make sure you have a business card. And one of the things I want to say, guys, don't have a business card that's so clouded with information, so crowded with information, that nobody can see your phone number and they can't see your company name. The person you are branding and marketing is yourself. Okay, so when I was with Century 21, they were my umbrella, but the company I was really branding was my own office, my own franchise. And then from there, I was branding myself. And people to this day still call me the real estate lady. You have to make sure you're branding yourself. And one of the main things people have to know is how to contact you. So the things that should stand out on your business card is your name, your phone number, and either your website or your Facebook page, however you want them to contact you, or your Instagram. If you want people to DM you all day, then you put that information out, but you definitely want to have a phone number that they see visibly. And then on your business cards, don't use colors that are glaring. Remember, you want every age group to be able to read your business card, so choose colors that contrast each other so they're easy to read. Sometimes I get people that give me business cards, or they show me, listen, I'm marketing myself and this is what I'm giving out. And they put like white writing on a white business card. Who can read that? Or clear or silver writing on a white business. All day long, and a lot of them have eye issues, because if you're sitting at your computer for quite a bit, it's going to strain your eyes. You don't want to strain to read somebody's business card. So both generations that are very successful need to be able to read your information very, very well. And so again, you want to make yourself stand out, be more professional, be more, have the mindset of how can I help you? How can I help you? And your scripts and dialogues should be based on how can I help you, and not how quickly can I get a paycheck from you, but how can I help you? Because if you have the mindset of how can I help you, the paychecks will help more. People used to say to me when I was in multi-level marketing, you're having so much success in Atlanta, why are you going to Columbus, Georgia? And I went there because the people needed help. There was a very low income there. And to this day, I haven't been in 5 links for over 9 years. And people still in Columbus, Georgia, thank me for having gone out there and teaching them scripts and dialogues. They work. They work no matter what industry you're in. Master one script, read it verbatim, and then you'll be able to add your own personality after. If like I mentioned before, my favorite actor is Denzel Washington. I remember when he first started on Broadway, I saw him. I think it was Diary of a Black Man, and he played the sexy young playboy character. So he was on stage with nothing but his underwear, like, boxer shorts. And I said, oh my God, this guy's such a great actor. He's going to be a star. Years later, he's still a star. And Denzel Washington, I guarantee you, when they give him a script, he first reads it verbatim. He reads it word for word. And it gives him the idea of this character. Then he puts in his own personality. My most favorite movie with Denzel Washington is Malcolm X. So he read everything about Malcolm X. He studied Malcolm X. And then he added his own little personality to it. And you would swear you're looking at Malcolm X. So a seller needs to hear you and swear that you know them so well from your scripts and dialogues that you've thought of everything that concerns them, and they will choose you. That's going to set you apart from the hundreds of thousands of real estate investors and agents out there, showing that you care. The top producers are not losing deals to people that have just started. They're not concerned that thousands of people are getting into real estate every day, because the only competition a top producer has is becoming better today than they were yesterday. That is what I look at in my own business. What do I need to make better? Even when I get off from training you guys, there's something that I'm working on, and I want to perfect that particular system. And so I have to look at it and say, well, what script or dialogue is going to work better in this part of my business? And then I've got to master it, and I've got to teach it to my team. And because they think it's easy. And somewhere they've been tricked into believing that they can make a lot of money without, investing in themselves to practice their scripts and dialogues, to invest in scripts and dialogues, to invest in a mentor, to invest in whatever products, upgrading your clothing, upgrading, your appearance, upgrading in so many different things that's going to make you, keeping your car clean when you show up at a person's house. Whether you're an investor or an agent, they're just as important. The difference, though, as an investor, you don't want to show up to somebody's house with a whole bunch of bling bling, because if you look extremely successful, their attitude is going to be like, okay, they're just, showing up to take my house. That's how they got their car. They that's how they got all those diamonds. When I go to an investor's house, a motivated seller's house, I wear very little or very toned down jewelry, and I keep it simple because I don't want them to focus on, oh, she's wealthy, or I don't want to come down on price. Now, if I'm going to a closing, then you dress differently. Or if I'm going to a listing presentation, then I dress differently. Nobody wants to work with somebody who looks like a hot mess. They're going to feel like you can't really represent them. So very, very important. Besides your scripts and dialogues, the way you carry yourself in your business and how you present yourself to people in your business, very, very important. I always train people that you have to become a leader in your community, a leader in your neighborhood. Everybody should know you're either an investor or an agent. The only place a secret agent works well is for the FBI. When you're a real estate agent, everybody needs to know it. When you're a real estate investor, everybody needs to know it. And then your scripts and dialogues will build relationships and build the security of the people that you're working with and make sure you close. So we have some scripts and dialogue books that are as little as $30. And then we have a program where we will role play with you, because the important thing is role playing. One of my students called me and asked me, about working with expired. So I role played with them, and they saw a big difference in how people were dealing with them when they approached them, because they had now dialogues to work with. So again, start with the seller lead sheet on our Facebook page, the Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page, and you will be able to, have much success. Breland, can I ask you, thank you for joining us real quick, because we're about to close out. How have scripts and dialogues made a difference in your communication with people? Because he's one of the people that I have shared scripts and dialogues with. Just popped in to say thank you for all your mentorship. Oh, that's so sweet. But can I say this to you? I would love for you to share how scripts and dialogues have well, I'm kind of afraid to add you on this side, because I don't want to lose you. But we're going to have you back on, and I thank you for having shared about the foreclosures the other day. Can you just type in, have you found scripts and dialogues helpful at all in your business? Have they been helpful? Or what is the difference now from the scripts and dialogues that I've shared with you and what you already knew, because you've been in the real estate industry before we connected? And so again, I want people to get that. Scripts and dialogues are very, very important. I'm going to give Breland a second to kind of type in something so I can share it with you guys, and then we'll let you go. So while he's doing that, I'm going to recap one more time the power of scripts and dialogues. Number one, they will give you the right mindset. As I said before, when Denzel wants to do a movie, they give him a script. That is the book they send him. And then the scripts, he reads them, he reads the whole script all the way straight through, and then he can add his own personality. Breland just said scripts are a great foundation, especially now that I'm getting callbacks. Very, very important. And that's why our mentoring program is set up the way it is. We don't give you the whole book at one time. We give it to you step by step. So we give you the first part is how to lay the foundation of your business. The second part is how to, answer the people. So the scripts and dialogues, you get one in the beginning so you can master it. Breland also says when target owners throw weird questions back at me, it allows me to get back on track, which is one of the things we said. That's now he's more professional. He's not worried. Or remember we said, number two, you won't worry about what you have to answer, because the script will keep you on track. You answer it and then you ask a question. They say something else weird, you answer it and you ask a question. And there's 3 types of general dialogue I want you to master. And I used to teach this to people, even because I still have people I mentor that are in multi-level marketing. And so one of the things I teach is, if I could, would you? If I could show you that working with me as an investor is going to help you put more money in your pocket. I'm not like the rest of the investors that you've heard about that may, because the professional ones don't do that. But the ones you've heard about that only focus on themselves, I'm not one of those. If I can show you that you'll put more money in your pocket, I'll close you quicker, and we'll build a relationship, a friendship, as opposed to me just focusing on your house and keep it moving. Would you work with me? So that script is, if I could, would you? And then the second script I want you to master after you read your seller lead sheet or whatever script you have from whoever may be mentoring you. But for the people following the yellow letter, we have certain scripts and dialogues we ask you to master. The second script I want you to master is feel, felt, found. When people say to you, I don't feel like this is going to work, I understand how you feel. I had a person that felt the same way you did, but they found when they work with me, when they worked with me that I had, whatever you may have done. So they found when they worked with me, they put more money in their pocket. They found when they worked with me that they were able to close faster. They found when they worked with me that they understood the process, so they had more comfort. They found that when they worked with me, we built a really good relationship. And then the person will feel like, okay, that's making sense. So feel, felt, found, if I could, would you? And then another one is called, you throw back their objection. Most people, when somebody says something to you like, I want to sell my house, but not at that price. Most people would back, or they would say, well, I'm not going to work with you because I need to get these numbers right away. So you repeat it. You're not going to sell unless you get, let's say they said 50,000. You're not going to sell unless you get 50,000, and then kind of take a pause and then let them respond. If they don't respond, then you could say, I understand how you feel. I had a person that felt the same way. My last client, or my last seller that I worked with in let's say, wherever you might have done a deal, I'll say downtown Atlanta. They felt the same way, but they found that once they worked with me, I was able to explain the whole process to them. And I ended up putting more money in their pocket because they didn't have to worry about what the house is going to appraise for. So you start sharing information. But you always throw back to them what they said, so they hear themselves what they said to you, and then you can answer them from there. Breland also says you have to be fearless and confident in talking to motivated sellers, especially high dollar sellers. They think they know it all, and sometimes challenge you on your market knowledge. I love this. Although, hey, Tom Ferry calling me, Tom Ferry International, as I'm training. I love this stuff, or I need to get, hey, still calling, stop. I need to get me more money. As I mentioned before, you don't want to focus on that, Breland. As I tell people, it's better to get a side hustle to pay for your marketing, to pay for your, for whatever it is that you need to do, your gas, whatever. Do a side hustle. There's so many quick side hustles that you could do for a minute here, an hour there, but don't focus on, oh, I got to get a quick dollar. The quickest way to get $1 is to wholesale a deal or to get a listing if you're an agent, and price it correctly so that it sells. Those are the main places to get your money. And if you're not confident enough to start there, go Uber a little bit. Go do Lyft for a minute. Go deliver some groceries for people. There's so many apps. When I'm driving up and down the highway, I see so many new apps that are offering, money that you can make quickly and then keep investing in your marketing. One of my mentors is worth over $200 million. And one of the reasons I chose this mentor is because they share everything. And when they started out, they said the same thing. They had to build their business, and so they got a side hustle. Some people, she encourages them to babysit. Some people, go cook for somebody. One of my students, they're a really good cook, and I said, cook for people and let them pay you to to serve them some meals, because this is seasonal. You're laying a foundation. It's seasonal. It's not going to be that way forever, but you've got to focus on the money-making activities. And one thing Breland said that most people forget, you will not become successful until you keep perfecting systems in your business. So like, he had to become stronger at dealing with motivated sellers. And this is why I tell people that are brand new, don't start with foreclosures. They're the most motivated, but they have the highest issues, and they usually don't have a lot of money coming to you on some of their deals because they owe so much money. You got to wait for a short sale, and on and on and on. The quicker deals are the ones that you can list immediately, close immediately, not waiting for a short sale, then it's approved, then you got to wait for the bank to want to accept the price that you're putting it out there. That is a business you want to, I know you tell me this all the time, I just need to be reinforced. Hashtag accountable. Way to go. And you're a superstar. Superstars are going to keep going and do what they have to do. The money-making activities will keep you focused. As I said before, Michael Jordan, one of my most favorite basketball players. And maybe it's because my kids taught me basketball when he was a superstar. I didn't know anything about basketball, but I'd come home and the in their conversations. I had no clue. So they taught me basketball. And one of the things that I got to learn, because then I read everything I could about Michael Jordan, is that nobody was there when he was practicing. Scripts and dialogues is what anybody in real estate needs to focus on. A basketball player has to focus on his dribble. He has to focus on his dunking ability. He has to focus on keeping the ball. Like, there's what people look at as nothing that they have to focus on mastering, so that they can, every time they get the ball, not every time Michael Jordan had to carry the whole team, but there were times he had to. But he was able to because he practiced so much before we saw him on the court. So I encourage you, get your script, practice it, read it over and over and over and over, and make copies of it so that when you're speaking to sellers, you can fill in their information. And it also helps you with follow-up, helping the follow-up, because you'll have all the information in front of you when you speak to your seller. So again, I hope you got something out of today's training. We did keep it under an hour because I started a little later today. So I hope you watch this on replay, and I hope you will download the seller lead sheet, and you will practice it, and you will use it in your industry. I mean, in your business, whether you're an agent or an investor, it's going to help you. And some people are both. It's going to help you to master your scripts and dialogues. And if I can be always makes better, spot on info, Wendy Lovejoy. Thank you. Bless you, Relinda. And you sound like my brother. That's his favorite saying, spot on. Oh, Wendy, you're so spot on. So that warms my heart. But guys, practice, put the time in. Go practice on people on Facebook. Talk to somebody, practice on a pastor. Pastor, do you know anybody that needs to buy or sell in your congregation? Practice these scripts, and then, you'll be able to say them much easier. Okay, guys, go in and work on your real estate. And, if I can be of any help to you, you know how to contact me, and I'll be happy to answer whatever questions you have. And I encourage you, go look at our yellowlettermentoring.com website. There's the only thing that has prices there are the scripts books. The programs don't, because we want to make sure we have a conversation with you to make sure we're a good fit for the work that you're doing, or the goals that you have. We may not be the right coach for you, because we do best with people that really want to get in there, get their hands dirty, get the work done like Breland is doing, and keep in there. And then when you have an issue, or you don't, you want some clarity on something, you can contact me if I'm mentoring you, and I'll be able to answer you accordingly.